I'm coming forth to bring this video. It is a video that I had uploaded to the channel earlier this week, but censorship had it removed, so I'm doing it again. And I'm glad I am doing it again because on Instagram I was talking with a gentleman, and this gentleman had stated that he was afraid for his family because of all the scary things that are happening. So I decided to include my response to him within this video, because the video that I'm doing now, which is a re-upload of the video that was taken down earlier this week, is connected to his fear and what he has said about his fear. You know, a lot of people right now are afraid. They are afraid because they don't know what's going to come in the days and the weeks and the months ahead. And a lot of this fear is coming from the fact that we have a man in the White House who is the protege of evil. He is a diabolical man, and he has diabolical people working along with him. I know who sent this man, and I know who this man really is. Christians who are deeply rooted into their belief, they know who this man is as well. There was a film back in the 70s that was made telling about basically the man in the White House. And that film starred Gregory Peck and David Warner. And if you want to know who the man in the White House is, all you have to do is watch that film. So I know who the man in the White House is. And let me say this now. I am not a Democrat, nor am I a Republican. I have never voted, and I never will. I can't stand any of the past presidents except for one. And that one is was John F. Kennedy. I have never liked Obama. I have never liked Kamala. I have never liked Bush, the father or the son. I have never liked Bill or Hillary Clinton. I damn sure couldn't stand Jimmy Carter. I have never liked Reagan, Nixon, Truman. I wasn't even born with Truman, but still, I heard about him but didn't like him. I have never liked any of them except for one, and that's John F. Kennedy. Because John F. Kennedy was truly for the people, all people. And this is why the government, including George Bush the father, had him taken out. So, I want to get that understood. I am not against the man in the White House because I'm a Kamala supporter, because Kamala can kick rocks too. I am against the man in the White House because I know who sent him. I know who he truly is. And I know that his goal is to destroy every country on earth. However, with me knowing this, I am not afraid of anything that happens on this earth. Not one thing. I am not afraid of death. If death were to happen to me tonight, I'm ready. I'm always ready. I'm always ready to transition from this world to the next, because I am not going to live in a state of fear. If I were to hear that an asteroid was going to hit within the next hour, you can be assured that I will have no fear of it whatsoever. The reason why I have no fear regarding these things is because I know who I truly am. And I am more than just P.S. Montgomery the woman. I am so much more than that. I know what's inside of the Isby. That is me. Now, do I want to die right now? No, I don't. Well, I still want to live a little while longer, even though this is a prison planet. I still want to live a little while longer and see a few things. But if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I have no fear. I say all that to say, when I say in videos, and when I put in the comment section of my videos about how you're powerful, a lot of people think that I'm making that statement just to be nice, just because I'm being nice and friendly to them, or because I'm just giving a compliment. All of that is incorrect. When I say in my videos, and when I tell people in the comment sections of my videos that they are powerful, I'm saying it because it is literally true. There is a literal supernatural power within the Isby of every Isby on the face of this earth. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's there. For a lot of people, because they don't realize it, it's dormant within them. But once they come into the realization that they are powerful, that power within them, it awakens like a fire. Going back to my novel, The Summerland, if you read the novel, The Summerland, this is the same type of power that August Cameron had. August Cameron was a powerful, excuse my language, motherfucker. He was a powerful Isby. Because not 1 ounce of fear was going to dominate him. Yeah, there were times when he had, lows and he had weaknesses. There were times when those lows and those weaknesses would try to creep in the way of fear. But then August reared himself right back to remembrance of the power that he had. And I am hoping to get everyone who is listening under the sound of my voice to that type of mentality. I want all of you all to start being like August Cameron. Start being powerful and get out of that fear. In my novel, August Cameron, he knew that the universe had his back. He knew it. He felt it. And he lived by it. And this is what I want you all to do as well. Yes, we are living in scary times. But the scary times that we are living in should not put us in a state of fear, because you have to get to the point where you trust the universe. And we are fragments of the universe. I'm not talking about the universe that these astronauts claim to go to when they go out in space. I'm talking about the real universe. The real universe that none of us have ever seen. That universe. We are fragments of that. And by us being fragments of that, the universe is always looking out for us. We're asking for help from the benevolent beings. We don't ask for help from the benevolent beings. All you have to do is ask for help from the universe, which is you. You are the universe, and the universe is you. Why? Because we are fragments of the universe. And so with that being the case, we have to trust the universe, which is us, which means trusting us and knowing that whatever happens on the face of this earth, we are going to be okay. Christians, I'm talking about Christians who are so rooted into their belief, and we know Christianity is a joke, is a fallacy. But to Christians, it's real. And so, but with Christians believing that this is a real thing that they're worshiping, they believe everything about it. So in the Christian Bible, Matthew 10:28, it says, "Fear not them which kill the body." Christians live by that. I'm talking about deeply rooted Christians. They live by that. This is why, and I know because I've talked to a lot of Christians, a lot of them. A lot of Christians, when you have a conversation with them about what's going on, they will say, oh, I'm not worried. I'm not scared of it, what happens at all, because I know that whatever happens, I'm going home to glory. You know, hey, if they can kill the body, but they'll never kill the soul. This is what Christians say. And you know what? They are absolutely right. Because damage or fatality may come to the body, but it will never come to the soul. And the soul is the Isby. And because it will never come to the soul, this is why you are going to be all right. And if your family members believe this, they are going to be all right. And you have to know this. You have to know that whatever happens, even if it, in whatever that's coming, if it involves you going through physical death, you're going to be all right. Because, you know, I think about this all the time too. I think about, you know, the things that are coming, and what if the things that are coming causes my physical death? Well, if it does, I know I'm still going to be all right, because when my Isby comes up out of this body, I know where I'm going. I'm going to the real universe, which is where I came from. That's where I'm going. I'm going to Pleroma, where I can be able to finally just rest and relax. Sit back in my beach chair. Have my I don't know what kind of drink. My Arbor Mist drink, okay? Have my Arbor Mist drink. Listen to Lionel Richie or the Doobie Brothers or, you know, the Beach Boys, and just relax. I know that that's where I'm going. So I am not scared of what happens down here, because whatever happens down here and whatever happens to this body, I'm going to be all right. This is why I don't have any fear. This is why deeply rooted Christians, they don't have any fear. Well, they, you know, and we know that when Christians, when they die, they're going to see the light, and they're going to think they're going to heaven, and they're not going to heaven. Where they're going to be going is to the realm where it, as I call it, the Summerland, where they will be held until reincarnation. But in their minds, they think they're going to heaven. And because they think that, they have no fear. That's one thing I do admire about them, is that they have no fear, because they actually believe that no matter what happens to them, they're going to be all right. And of course, they're not. But with us, we know that if anything happens to us, we're going to be all right, because we have gnosis. We know this. We actually know that all we have to do, no matter what happens, is use that gnosis, and we really will be all right. So why aren't we believing that? Why are we still afraid of what happens in the days and the weeks and the months to come? We should not be afraid. I'm going to go back to my novel, The Summerland. And if you haven't read it all from beginning to end, then you may want to fast forward the video. But for those who have already read it from beginning to end, you'll remember in the novel August and Noah and Noah's best friend Christopher, and they were getting ready to go and square up with Enki and Marduk and all of Enki and Marduk's cohorts in a big bad battle. Now, if that had been us in that scene, we probably would have been, well, not me, but if that had been anyone else in that scene, any one of you all out there, you all probably would have been scared. Oh my God, I don't know how we're going to do this. Oh, I'm frightened. But August and Noah, eventually, they removed that fear, and they were ready to take on the battle. And this is how they won that battle. And you have to understand, as long as we are on this planet, we are in a battle. Going back, Christians believe this. They say is your fight, your war is not physical, it's spiritual. And they are right. See, I keep telling you, there are a lot of principles in Christianity that make sense. And that's probably because they hijacked it from spirituality. But there's a lot of principles in Christianity that make sense, and that's one of them. Your war, your battle on this planet is not physical, it's spiritual. And because it's spiritual, this is why the battle, the war should not be foreign to you, because you're spiritual too. So you should know how to handle this without the fear. But I understand. I'm not bashing anybody for being afraid, because I get it. Because I mean, there are a lot of scary things that are happening. There are a lot of scary things happening in this world right now, but you cannot let it put you in a state of fear. Because despite all of the scary things that are happening, you're going to be okay. Even if what happens on this earth results in you going through the physical death, you're still going to be okay, because you should know where you're going. You should know that if you happen to go through a physical death on this earth, you have the gnosis to escape the reincarnation trick and go back to where you came from, which is the universe. So you're going to be okay. And you can't live your life in fear. Because if you live your life in fear, then that's going to prevent you from doing anything in life. Because you're afraid. I've heard people say, I'm not going to any more malls. I'm not going to any more department stores, or I'm not going to Walmart anymore because I've seen so many news stories of shootings happening at malls or at Walmart or department stores, so I'm not going there. So what you're doing is you're living your life in fear. You are letting fear dictate how you're going to operate in your life. And if you're going to let fear operate your life and dictate what you do in your life, then you're not a divine spark. You're just another NPC. Just another non-playing character. Another 1 and 0 number in the matrix. But when you throw away that fear and you live your life with bravery and courage, that's when you become a divine spark. That's when you become the powerful August Cameron of your own destiny, your own life. And that's what you all need to be. I hear people stating, I'm going to move out of the United States. I'm going to move to Canada where these things aren't happening as much. I'm going to move to Sweden, or I'm going to move to London, or I'm going to move here, there, Africa. And, for a brief moment, I was thinking the same thing until I had family members, specifically, one in particular, rather, my mother, who said, you are so disappointing. And so I said, why? And so she said, you wrote a whole book, The Summerland, talking about how it's best to fight evil instead of running from evil. And here you are, you're talking about how you want to move out of the United States and run away from evil. Why did you write the book, Sasha, if you are going to do what's contrary to the book? And I thought on my mother's words, and my other family members gave their insight as well, and I thought on their words, and I realized, they're right. Number one, you can run anywhere you want to. Whatever is happening and whatever will happen in the United States is going to happen in every other country eventually. As a matter of fact, in Africa is already happening. Africa has already made steps moving towards, as conspiracy people call, a new world order type of life. They've done that in Africa. They've already done that in China, And after a while, it's going to be in every country. It's going to be in Ireland. It's going to be in Scotland. It's going to be in Australia. I hear it's already happening in Sweden. It's going to happen in Canada. It's going to happen everywhere. So no matter where you run, evil will be there in that country. So for those who are getting passports and trying to move out of the country, you're running away from something that will eventually find you wherever you go. So the answer is not to run. The answer is to face evilness head on. How you face evilness head on is by not having that fear. Not having that fear is one of the biggest ways to face evilness head on. You are not afraid of what happens. Because running away, evilness is going to come and get you wherever you run away to. You have people who have stated, well, I'm going to have an underground bunker. Don't you know the government, they have technology, whereas they can see underground. They can use their sensors and their X-ray technology to see where you are underground, and they will get you up out of that underground bunker or that underground refuge that you have, and you will have to comply with their evil ways of life or else. So you can't even hide underground. Well, you have some people say, well, when things get really bad, I'll just grow my own food. Now, let me state this. Right now, I do grow my own food, all my own food. The only time that I eat meat is when I go to, I guess I've stated in a video I did on yesterday, is when I go to family, to be with family for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they have, turkey and all that. But for the rest of the year, I grow my own food, including milk. And so right now, that is something that we are all able to do. We are all able to grow our own food right now. But when things really become dictatorship crazy on the face of this earth, you're not going to be able to grow your own food. Because what will happen is that the government will come and they will remove all of that food you have grown. So for those who say, well, when things become really dictatorship crazy, I'll just grow my own food. No, because at that time you will not be able to. But then you think, well, then if that happens, how am I going to be able to eat? Trust the universe. Trust the universe, which is yourself. Trust the universe, which is yourself, to know that you're going to make it through that type of situation okay. And see, this is the problem. A lot of people, they, believe in the universe, but they don't trust the universe. Or they'll say they trust the universe, but they don't. You have to get into the act of trusting the universe, which is yourself. This is one of the reasons why I like the film. This is one of out of all of Stephen King's, his miniseries films, the one that I love, and I think this is his best work ever. His best work ever is The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand. And I'm not talking about that garbage version they made with Whoopi Goldberg. That was a total woke version piece of garbage that had no feeling in it whatsoever. I'm talking about the 1994 version. That 1994 version of the Stephen King's The Stand, that is a very powerful film. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, fast forward this video. But if you have seen it, you'll remember Mother Abigail told the four men, I know two of the names, I know three of the names, I don't know the other one, but I think it was Let me see. I know two of the men. I don't know the other two names, but not by heart. But I know Mother Abigail told Stu Redman and Larry and the other two men whose names escape me right now. But he told them, and she told them, to go on foot to Randall Flagg's compound to make their final stand. And they were to go without food and without water. And Stu Redman's wife, well, wife at the time, or this was wife or his lady, she was, how are you all going to, without food, how are you all going to make it? And so Stu told his lady, he said, God will provide. We're going to be okay. And they went to the, they went on foot en route to Randall Flagg's compound, and Stu got injured. When Stu got injured, Stu told Larry and the other three men, you all go on without me. And Larry was like, no, but we can't leave you, Stu. You have a broken leg. How are you going to survive? And so Stu told Larry, if God wants me to eat, he'll make way for me to eat. If he wants me to drink, he'll make way for me to drink. I'm going to be okay. And Larry just couldn't understand. How are you going to be okay? How are you going to be okay? But Stu trusted his God. Trusted his God. And the three men, they went on. One of them was unalived by Randall Flagg and his man, and his right-hand man, rather. And the other two were strung up by Randall Flagg to be killed. And they were to be killed by way of dismemberment, which is a brutal way to die. Absolutely brutal. That's tearing apart of limbs and body parts. But don't you know that while those two men were hanging up there on those fixtures, they had no fear whatsoever? No fear whatsoever, because they trusted in their God, and they knew that their God was going to make everything okay. And in the end, their God came in and made everything okay. And for Stu, who was left behind in that little ditch area with a broken leg, God made it okay for him as well. Made a way for him to be able to be rescued out of that ditch and to get food and to get back on his feet again. This is why I love that film, because it's powerful. Because if you take out the God factor and put in the universe will make a way. The universe is going to make sure that no matter what you are facing, you're going to be okay. And this is what you all have to believe. No matter what you are going through, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, financial, you are going to be okay if you trust the universe. Whatever happens catastrophic wise in this world, you are going to be okay. Even if it causes you physical death, you're still going to be okay because you know where you're going. So you're going to be okay. So you don't have to be afraid for yourself or your family. Now, that doesn't mean not being observant of what's happening, because I am always watching to see, okay, what's happening now? But I'm not going to let it scare me. I'm not going to have it to put me in a state of fear. Lastly, I want to mention there is this little booklet that comes out. I believe at the time it would come out every month. It's called Our Daily Bread. And back when I was a Christian, I used to read that little booklet, and it had like a lot of things about, Christian verses and like little stories in it and everything like that. And I remember one time reading about this little girl in this. It was a story in the our Daily Bread monthly booklet, and I read the story of this little girl, and she was on a plane with several others, and the plane was, flying fine, everything like that. The plane was flying through fine, but then the plane started to have this extreme turbulence, and the captain came on to the intercom and told everybody to make sure their seat belts were fastened, and the plane just went through this great turbulence, and everyone was really panicking and all. And while everyone on the plane was panicking, this little girl sat calmly in her seat, just reading her book, not paying what was happening any attention, not paying it no mind. When the plane landed, a lot of passengers asked her how she was able to be so calm in the midst of all the turbulence that was happening on that plane. And the little girl said, well, the reason why is because my daddy is the pilot, and I trusted my daddy. And her daddy she was talking about was her God, Jesus. You see, despite all the turbulence that was going on in that plane, she had no fear, because she trusted her God to make sure that everything was going to be okay. And everything was okay. The plane landed safely and everything was fine. This is what you have to do when it comes to the universe, which is you. There is turbulence going on all around us, and the turbulence is getting worse day by day, week by week, month by month. And everyone around us, they're freaking out because of the turbulence. But we cannot freak out. We cannot have fear, because we know that despite all of the turbulence going on, we are going to be okay, because the universe has our back. I posted a video on my channel several weeks back, maybe about several months back, maybe. And it was a meditation video. And at the beginning of the meditation video, there is a man speaking who's doing an affirmation meditation mantra where he states, the universe has my back. And a lot of people, they haven't even watched that video. And then they wonder why they're living their lives in fear. I watch that video every single morning because it's a part of my meditation. And this is why I don't care what happens on this earth. Doesn't scare me, rather. It doesn't scare me at all. I'm not afraid. And so this is what you all have to understand. It is going to get worse. And I hear a lot of people say it's going to get worse before it gets better. No, there is no getting better on this planet. Unfortunately, what is happening on this planet as it grows into getting more and more and more worse, it's going to stay worse. It's going to stay worse because people, that's just how this planet is. It will never get better on this planet. Whereas, I remember that time when they tried to merge with AI. Thank God that time period is gone. No, but where we are going to on this planet is to a point of no return. There's no coming back from it. However, despite that being the case, you still need not be afraid. Because that's what Enki and Marduk wants. They want you to be afraid of what's happening or what's going to happen. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. A lot of people are saying this and that and the third is going to happen at the Super Bowl. If it happens, I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, I'm not going to be afraid of that either. You cannot live your life in fear. Because if you live your life in fear, then you are allowing Lucifer, who is Enki, and Marduk, who is Satan, to rule your life. And some people who allow Enki and Marduk to rule their life, they wonder why they can't astral project. I can't astral project because you're letting the ones who are against astral projection, who are against lucid dreaming, you're letting them rule your life. This is why you can't astral project. Because you can't be in fear and astral project. You can't be in fear and lucid dream and bring forth abilities like telekinesis and clairvoyance. You can't be in that state and do those things. So this is what you all have to learn. Really, no country is going to save you from what is coming. No other person or God or deity or being, none of those factors are going to save you from what's coming. The only person that can save you from what's coming is you. And how you can save yourself is by not living in fear. If it happens where we all were to die tomorrow, which I hope not, but if it were to happen where we were all to die tomorrow, if you know where you're going, you should have no fear about it. Again, not saying that any of us would want to go tomorrow, because there's a lot of things that we all would like to see before we leave leave this planet. I would love to. I've never been to, Australia. I like to go visit there, despite their 40, 50 feet spiders and but I would love to go visit there. There's a lot of places I would like to see, a lot of things that I would like to do before I leave this prison planet. But if it happened to be where tomorrow where my time would be up, it is. It's out of my hands. And with tomorrow being the time where my time would be up, I'm going to cross over with no fear because I know exactly where I'm going. So this is what I wanted to state, people. Every morning, well, I don't like to use the word morning. Every a.m. when you wake up, you need to say 3 times to yourself, I am powerful, I am powerful, I am powerful. You need to say that. And say it with meaning. And I want to say as well, if you are getting up every a.m. and you are not doing meditation, you're doing yourself a disservice. Before you get up, and even if you have to use the bathroom really bad, go use the bathroom. But before you get up and have your morning coffee, the first thing you should do is have meditation. And your meditation should include an affirmation that builds up your ISB. You need to have this because that is the motivator for your day. That a lot of people, they wonder why they have bad days. Well, did you start off with meditation, which includes affirmations? If you didn't start off with that, then you're basically going out like sheep among wolves. Again, I have to say I admire Christians, who are deeply rooted into their faith. They will do this. They will not leave the house until they pray to their God. Because in their minds, they believe that by them doing it, they are putting on their whole armor of God. Well, that's how we need to be regarding spirituality. We cannot leave the house without having our meditation, which includes affirmations, because it guards and protects us, the ISB. It protects our energy. And you need to do this every single morning. And stop thinking less of yourselves. I hear a lot of people say in the comments of my videos and in conversations with them on social media, I wish I was this, I wish I was that, I wish I was smart, I wish I was pretty. You are pretty, you are smart. I wish I was attractive. You are attractive. I wish I was better than what I am. You are better than what you are. What you say to your ISB is what will be in your ISB. You have to start speaking life to your ISB, and your ISB is your soul. You have to start speaking life to your ISB. And you have to stop being afraid. No matter what happens, I don't care if it's an asteroid, a comet, a black hole, zombie apocalypse, the roundup to put people in prison. I don't care what it is. Tsunami, hurricane, tornado, volcano, earthquake. You are going to be okay if you trust the universe and if you know where you are going. If whatever happens results in your physical death, you know where you're going. That's how you live a life like August Cameron lived in my novel, The Summerland. August Cameron, he still had fun. He went out here and there, and he was a regular person, but he knew who he was. And he didn't live by fear. And he was powerful. And so this is what you all have to strive to do and strive to be like as well. To the gentleman on Instagram. Yes, scary things are happening right now. But do not be scared for your family. Be powerful for your family. And have your family be powerful for themselves. Because no matter what happens, you and your family, you're going to be okay. If you have gnosis and if you know that you're powerful, and if you know who you are, which is a divine spark, and if you know that, hey, when I leave this world, I know where I'm going. If you know all of those things, you're going to be okay. So remove that fear. And when you feel that fear coming in, this is when you need to go to your affirmations. There are affirmations that you can say that will remove fear, the feeling, the emotion of fear from you, VSB, right then and there. You need to say those affirmations. Because when you have those feelings of fear creep in, that's nothing but Enki trying to push those feelings, those emotions within you so that you can act on those feelings and emotions, and he can get fed and his archons can get fed, because fear is loose energy, which is what they feed off of. So when you feel those feelings of fear coming in, you need to just stomp it out right then and there. Let me go to my affirmation. Let me listen to it. And I'm going to continue to listen to it 2, 3, 4, 5 times if I need to, until that feeling goes away. You have to do this. This is what August did. This is why with that novel that I wrote, The Summerland, out of all the characters, August is my number one favorite. He is my number one favorite because August is what I strive to be every single day. And I want you all to strive to be that way every single day. Don't fear people. Don't be afraid. If you have the tools that you need, spirituality-wise, you do not need to be afraid for yourselves or for your family. So with that being stated, that being said, I hope I have opened up some eyes, and I hope I have given information that you will truly benefit from. And I do want to say, for those who have not bought my novel, I encourage you to buy it. And I say this not because, I want people to buy it because then I'll make money, because I said this in a past video. That novel is at $14. With that novel being at $14, I'm not making anything but 5 cents off of that, really about 5 to 10 cents off that novel, because I set the price so low. And I set the price so low on purpose, because I didn't write that novel so that I can make, not that novel, so I can make money. I wrote it so that I can get information out to people that really needed to know that information. So as of today, I have not seen any revenue from Amazon from that novel, because there is none to, after Amazon takes out what they take out from the sales of that novel, I'm left with nothing. And that's fine, because that's how I wanted it to be. So I'm telling you to buy the novel, because then you can be able to see the type of power that you need to have, the type of bravery, the type of courage that you need to have, that August had That book is so inspiring. It is so powerful in and of itself. And that's why I encourage you, if you haven't gotten it, get it. If you don't have the money to get it, then email me and I can send it to you for free. If you really don't have it to buy, if you have the money to buy it, I will send it to you for free. But you have to read this novel. You have to, because this book will tell you how you should take on things like evil in the world. Take on things like Enki and Marduk, who are Lucifer and Satan. How to be and live a life of power and bravery and courage. So, this is what I wanted to bring forth. People, is going to get a lot worse in the days and the weeks and the months to come. But just know that when it does, you're going to be okay. Because you are powerful, you are divine sparks, you are fragments of the universe, and the universe has your back. With that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful and a safe Saturday. And until next time.